Hello and welcome to Tea Time, where we bring you the biggest entertainment stories. But this morning, it's not business as usual, as we do have a guest. I'm Tokumbo Taiwo, and I'm here with my tremendous crew, the dainty, delicate and delightful Elsie Godwin, and the uninhibited and unreserved Ife Oshunkeye. Hi, guys.
Hi. Hi.
Okay, so my usual question.
Before you ask, Dangote
Yes.
is now the world's 64th richest person.
From 103.
So that's like a very, very good leap. You know, he didn't like go like 20 steps forward. He went like
you know, he lost a lot last year.
And he's like gained it back in 24 hours.
So he gained that back, and he gained more back in
24 hours, exactly. So that's really, really
good. Yeah, I think the election paid off for him.
The election paid off. Elsie, there was something you sent me yesterday.
Kevin Hart is buying a sketch from a Nigerian.
That's what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
So I was like,
and that is very, very, very sweet, because he also said he's going to be buying for 3 of his friends as well as a gift to them. So I think that guy is made for life.
Yeah, and I'd like to mention, I mean, when it comes to talking about the bad sides of social media, your first anthem is always up. Your own too is a bit up. I mean, this is one of the good things social media does for you.
I never condemn social media.
It puts you in the center of the world.
Yes.
Like, it depends on what you're using it for,
So
and
I
how you're
don't
using it for your
understand
brand.
yeah, I do.
Yes,
yeah,
you're
I
always
do.
like social media people. You help always say, what are you doing?
But I don't condemn it that way.
Social
do I?
media is a good tool. I mean, it's a tool.
Are you
can be bad
campaigning
for
now
you.
or canvassing?
I'm not campaigning, I'm
You're
not canvassing.
canvassing.
I'm letting
You're
people understand
advocating.
that they can use this platform
Elsie
to
has taken
change
the first
their
role.
lives, basically.
Yeah, but they
Anyways,
know.
there's this other television presenter, a political presenter, that talked down with school.
So you want to talk down on me now? You apologize on
Wait,
it.
wait, nah,
apologize. In fact, I will wait.
And I like the fact that
it gets
he
very
came back
interesting.
to apologize.
Okay.
It was very commendable that
What is
he
commendable
came
that he
out to
apologized? That
He was pushed
reading
to
his
do it.
apology.
Yeah, that I was
That's the
just
thing, he
going
was
to
pushed
say,
to do it.
if
He
it
didn't do
was
it.
not management inclined, like if it was not the management,
I don't
like,
even think it was the
wrong.
management. What concerns management, they would have told him and giving him feedback. But at the end of the day, I think it was all of the social media
No, it concerns
stuff.
management because
No, management would have said
everywhere.
Yes, but management would not have said apologize in public or apologize via social
No, of
media.
course. Why wouldn't they tell him
Of
not to
course they
apologize?
can.
Apology? No, they can't. They have
can't.
they have no right
He
on your
was
social media
very
life.
It's not about
It
being
was
that was
inappropriate.
unprofessional.
It was unprofessional.
And it
Yes.
went viral.
Yes, so he will have to.
So he has to.
No, not necessarily.
Chokumbo, you know you
yeah,
like
you
this.
know, don't
He has
argue with
started.
Tokumbo.
Don't worry,
Those
let's
don't-
move
let's
on.
move on.
Before
And then
you
Lady
have to
Gaga wore
apologize.
the yellow diamond from Tiffany. I can't remember the jewelry company right now. And that was the first time it has graced the red carpet after the original owner. And that is like one of the rarest yellow diamonds in the world.
Okay.
Yeah, so Lady Gaga all the way.
Oh, Ife is very impressed. Any more?
Shallow.
Go ahead.
Okay, so as mentioned earlier, it's not business as usual today, as we do have a studio guest. But before we introduce our guest, let's quickly bring you some info regarding our free giveaways. So we have 3 tickets to give away for the comedy show titled Chimaraf. The event will be kicking off in Surulere this weekend, as we've been saying all over and over. And on the 3rd of March, to be precise, to win a regular ticket, all you have to do is tell us which day and what time did that video boy when he was a guest on Tea Time. So tell us which day and what time that video boy was a guest on our show. Answer through our social media pages using the hashtag Tea Time, or you can tweet at us at +TV Africa with all of your answers. We also have another ticket to give out today, and this one is for seating at a table. So all you have to do is tell us the first 2 topics that were discussed on the 25th of February during the morning show. Once again, you can answer through our social media pages using the hashtag Tea Time, or you can tweet at us at +TV Africa with all of your answers. Okay, so before we tell you who our guest is, we'll go on a quick break, and then we'll be right back to introduce him. It's where the big stories live. This is +TV Africa.
When I did it, I was full on, hands-on on the whole project.
So how did you deal with it? All of that negativity?
I got depressed, obviously. Duh. Haven't you heard?
I've got 2 of the hottest topics currently trending on social media. If you've seen the word Senate trending on Twitter, that's because the Nigerian police force has gone Trump style. down.
I haven't shared this with anyone, but I reckon I get about like 100 people asking for help a day. That's a fact. I can prove that.
Welcome back. You're watching Tea Time right here on Plus TV Africa. If you're just joining us on the program, we're about to introduce our studio guest. He's a graduate of computer science and is the creative director and founder of COZ Designs, a made in Nigeria luxury leather brand, exporting bags to about 16 countries across the globe. He has received numerous awards in entrepreneurship, fashion, and leadership. He started his own charity movement in 2019 called Omo Ijebu Nimi, which is aimed at giving the youths and children of Ijebu a better life. He's a brand ambassador, fashion designer, and often considered the miracle boy. With over 57,000 followers on Instagram, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce the outstanding, awesome, and business-savvy Osoba.
Yeah.
You like your intro?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Okay, so where should we start, guys?
I don't even know. Like,
Let's talk about your charity movement,
Okay.
Omo Ijebu Nimi. It's about giving back to the people of
Yes,
Ijebu,
Ijebu, yes.
children or generally.
Children and the youth.
And the youth in Ijebu. So what have you done so far with that?
We started in February. Our first movement was we went to a primary school called I can't remember. It's a Yoruba. I can't remember. But we went there and we gave them food and we spoke with them about entrepreneurship and the projects that I wanted to do. So what I intend to do is like every month I'm going to be going there talking about entrepreneurship and also doing talent shows and maths and English quizzes where the winner gets prizes and gifts and all of that.
Okay, do you not think that in any way, shape or form puts other people, away from, showcasing their talents? Because from what I hear and from what I understand, it applies or is applicable, but you can correct me if I'm wrong, to just Ijebu residents or indigenes.
Yes, because I'm from Ijebu.
I know, but I'm saying, does that not limit? Do you not think that's limiting?
He has
and
a
that
political career.
Oh, no.
They will say, what have you done for your community?
No, not even that.
I gave them food in primary school.
If I start doing it from Ijebu, I mean, I feel like people from other states and other places should be inspired to want to do for.
But my point is that there are so many other residents in Ijebu land as it is,
Yes.
So for you to say you're only going to be helping indigenes from Ijebu is very, how do I put it now?
No. I mean only people living in Ijebu. There's Ijebu Day, there's Ijebu Ibo. So
Okay.
it goes as far beyond Ijebu Day. It's the whole of Ijebu. You don't have to be from Ijebu Day, but as long as you're living in Ijebu.
So people from other tribes living in that's what I wanted to clarify, because I just thought that is very prejudiced to just apply to only. Okay, so I just needed clarification on that. Ife?
Okay, so the Nigerian fashion industry is one segment that is helping the economy,
Yes.
adding to the GDP and all that. So what do you think is the major challenges you guys face right now in the industry?
I think Nigerians don't believe in themselves. That's like the first thing. Because I remember when I first started, I had to give people bags for free. That, okay, just use it. Like when you see that it's good, because a lot of people say, why should I buy a bag from Nigeria when I can easily get from outside the country and it will be cheaper or like the same amount. And then I think exportation and mostly the fuel issue. I remember there was a time, electricity. There was a time when we were doing production and it was really hard because we didn't have electricity for a certain period of time and we had to get fuel. And there was fuel scarcity then and your customers wouldn't understand all of that. So it's really hard, but we've been pushing, and then social media has really helped a lot in pushing beyond just Nigeria.
And so are your bags made in Nigeria?
Yes, they are made in Nigeria, 100%.
I also like that you
100%.
mentioned that people complain about the prices.
Oh, yeah.
And I think I'm one of those people because,
Why?
you know, when you're buying something that, like you said, we do not trust ourselves, right?
Yes,
And we already have this mindset and this trust of when I buy something that is foreign, it's going to at least last and work, right? But I'm coming to buy from you. So if I'm comparing the price of me buying that and I already trust, and then coming back to buy a made in Nigeria product, it's really expensive.
Because
so
cost of
why
production
is it that
more
way?
expensive in Nigeria.
Cost of
you have to
production.
think of fuel, like I said. You have to think of buying leather here, even though I get my leather from Kano, it's still more expensive because they have to trade together, they have to export it from Kano. Transportation cost is also added. Transportation costs in Nigeria is more expensive. So all those things build up to why the products are more expensive.
So if I decide to buy your products, even how expensive it is, I'm doing the industry a favor, basically.
No,
because I'm spending more than I would
Actually, give
do.
us an idea of how much they actually cost.
Okay, from 20,000 upwards.
Can you imagine that? So I want a backpack. I would rather go and buy
100%
a
leather
Nike backpack.
100% leather backpack.
Yes, but it's
There's a
value
difference.
for my
Yes,
money.
you're making sense. Yes.
There's a 100% leather bag. There's no 100% leather bag that would go for that amount internationally.
Oh, you think?
I am very sure.
You're very,
Do you know
very
that
think of it,
sometimes you
I
buy a Nike leather bag and it's not 100% leather.
Wow.
The only brands that use 100% leather every time are luxury brands like LV, Gucci. And you
I
know
was
that
gonna say
LV
LV
gets part of their leather from Kano.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a fact because they get it from Africa. Don't let us just say Kano.
Yeah, but they get parts
most
of their leather from Kano.
Specifically.
Okay. Yes, Kano.
Specifically.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Does anyone have follow-up questions to this? Because I want to.
Well,
You
I
mentioned
wanted
social
to-
media.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I wanted to point out the initiative that buy made in Nigeria, grow the naira,
Yeah.
or sell made in Nigeria and grow the naira.
Yeah.
What do you think about that initiative?
I mean, it's really good because right now there's really no job in Nigeria, like for youths. It's really not easy. So I mean, encouraging buying made in Nigerian products encourage youths to use their hand to do a lot of handwork, which is good, and it's also growing the economy. I remember when I first started, it was just like from church, but now we're shipping to clients in like 16 different countries. And then when they ask for the price, I don't give them in dollars, I give them in naira because I'm Nigerian, and then you have to know about naira, do the conversion yourself, and yeah. So yeah, I think it's actually good. It's bringing.
I like the
Nigeria
fact that
forward.
you said no job, so he's going to encourage the youth to put their hands to work. But you graduated with a first class.
Yeah.
Why didn't you look for a regular job? You could have gotten yourself a good job.
Okay, no, it's not just about first class anymore in Nigeria.
So it's
not.
about what?
It's about apparently it's about connections, and then it's about sometimes it's even more than that. It's beyond that. Sometimes we have like how many million youths looking for? Do you know how many first class graduates we have in Nigeria? And I remember when I was graduating, my elder sisters, they did really well, and then they didn't have a job. They were still looking for jobs, and I didn't want to be in that position. And I always knew that I wanted to start up a company by myself. So I just said, okay, let me just go into this right now.
So if you had an opportunity to sit with our elected president now, I mean, he's going back Buhari, yeah? And you're going to talk from the point of there not being jobs.
Yes.
You know, what would you tell him? Because you've mentioned the issues you have, electricity, transportation,
Cost
and
of
those are
production.
basic things
Yeah.
that actually affect the cost of production, which is why
Yes.
I'm saying what I'm buying from you is expensive, you know?
Expensive.
So what would you say to him?
Electricity is, if that's the only thing he can do before he goes, it's fine. Because he would go a long way. When you think of how much you spend on fuel daily, it's ridiculous. You know, the whole stress, and then if there happens to be a fuel scarcity, and you have a customer that is very impatient, you can imagine the whole stress. By the time you are done producing the bag, you wouldn't want to sell it for anything less than 20,000 because you have to calculate the stress. Sometimes you have to pay your way just to get fuel if there's fuel scarcity. So all those things, it's really not encouraging.
Why don't you resort to other means of, electricity?
Like,
Solar or what do they call it, inverters?
Imagine an entrepreneur that just started business. I started with 100,000 naira. I have to get machines for like 70,000 naira. I have to buy leather. Where do I get money to buy an inverter from?
It's all about investment. Surely any business savvy entrepreneur knows that you need more money
That's
to
why
generate more
I
money.
said imagine an entrepreneur that just started. I don't have an investor.
Okay. Yeah, but family and friends usually support, or you didn't get that kind of support initially?
I didn't get initially from the first. Because you know,
allow him answer the question.
Okay.
Imagine telling your parents that or your father that okay, I came out with the first class and I want to start doing bag. My father looked at me like, are you okay? And I'm like, yes, but then this is what I want to do. And he said, okay, fine, but I'm not going to get involved. Like, do everything you have
see,
to do
the reason
yourself.
why I ask is that a lot of startup companies and a lot of first-time entrepreneurs, they start from their immediate social circle, not necessarily immediate family. If immediate family is not helping, they go to the nearest social circle in terms of their closest friends who believe in their product, because you must have shown some kind of potential in terms of your drawing or your sketches or a little bit of a prototype of what you actually do or what you want to do, and so people see that and they say, oh, this guy is really good. Oh, this is real authentic leather. Oh, I will support you, So I'm like, did you not show, or did you just want to be, one-man business from the get-go?
When I started doing bags, it was like 2 years ago, the bag industry in Nigeria wasn't really that famous. And so me telling a lot of my friends, they just said, oh, okay, good work, they sell bags in Computer Village. That was the answer most of them gave me.
Okay.
So your friends don't get involved till they start seeing that it's going international. People are buying.
Okay. All right. We'll talk more on that. But for now, time for a quick break. When we return, it will be time to continue our conversation with entrepreneur and CEO of COZ Designs, Ore Osoba. Don't go anywhere.
What we do not understand, we will stigmatize.
What you can see is the remaining of the tanker that exploded.
The suspect equally confessed.
A 500 naira they collect am. If you no talk, dem go beat you. Na 2,500 they pay.
Welcome back. It's still tea time right here on Plus TV Africa, and we're swiftly moving on with our conversation with entrepreneur and CEO of COZ Designs, Ore Osoba. So I quickly want to touch on the exporting side of the business. How your first experience was and which country was the first, and any kind of challenges that you had during that first time.
The first experience was just after Peter Pisco got my bag and he posted on social media, and I had someone from China calling that they wanted to order a bag. So I'm like, sorry, where are you calling from? And it's like, China. I'm like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay. And it's like, he wants to buy a bag. So I told him the price. And it's like, okay, how do I handle shipping?
Sorry to cut in. Was this a Nigerian that was living over there, or this was a proper Chinese person?
A proper Chinese person.
Okay.
So I was really shocked. So I told her
that I wasn't Jet Li.
So I told her the amount, and then she was like, okay, so, shipping cost. Now, because I didn't have the experience in shipping, so I was like, okay, I'm going to get back to you. And I had to call DHL, and they gave us the price, and I told her. And
so you incorporated that into the figure. Okay.
But how was the shipment procedure? Was it very easy?
Yes, it was very, very, very easy. It was. I mean, I just took it there, paid the money, they weighed it, and it got there in 4 days.
Wow, nice.
And they could track it online.
So you said you've delivered to over 16 countries. Yes. Can you tell us the countries?
Okay, America, China, Canada, London, South Africa, Kenya.
Okay. So you like to
But now that you're exporting to all these countries, are you not going to consider, actually selling in dollars or different currencies?
No, definitely. Things have changed over.
So are you selling in dollars now?
Yes.
Okay.
So we give them the price in dollars, and we give them the price wherever you're calling from. We just give you that price.
So what celebrities have you worked with?
Okay,
and who is like your most regular customer?
Okay, I've worked with Banky, I've worked with Adesua, I've worked with Uriel, I've worked with P Square, I've worked with RMD, I've worked with Alex Okubo, I've worked with Yomi Casual. There are a lot of people.
And the Job Life Gang, I saw one of them on here. What's his name? Yes, so have you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Swanky Jerry is like a COZ favorite. He's always like with his COZ bag. So yes, I think he likes bags a lot. So
okay. So Swanky is like your biggest customer?
No,
regular customer.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you give them these bags like, oh, you're a celebrity, carry my bag, or they actually pay?
Okay. The first person we ever gave was Pisa P-Square because I actually like him. So I gave him, please take my bag and take a picture. But from there, they just started ordering.
Okay. Okay. So that was a smart move. Was that intentional? Was that strategic? Or you were just being nice to him at that particular time?
Okay, I'm a businessman,
so it was strategic. Oh, here we go. Well done, well done. Okay, let me ask you this, because the way I see people, because Ife has a, you know, I have to like say that beforehand, because he says the way I look at people is just very different. So I don't know, maybe I have internal glasses or I have ultra bionic eyes, I don't know. But when I see you, you remind me of Jide Aobono. I don't know if you know him. So okay, he's an actor. Okay, so the both of you really look alike. I was like, yes, I'm like, you look like a younger version of him, like maybe one of his younger brothers. But I was like, if I see you, I'm going to ask you if you. Okay, so you have no connection whatsoever.
All right. Has anyone told you you look like Michael Jackson?
You need to take your inner
glasses. Before the surgery, when he was black, yeah?
No, when he became white, you really look like Michael Jackson.
Okay, I know there are people watching now that probably want to start small businesses and they're struggling with using social media to push their product out there. Do you have any tips? What is it that you strategically did with social media? Because it's a big platform. You have Twitter, you have Facebook, you have Instagram.
And you have a large following as
well.
So
what did you do to get your brand from point A to point B when you came with social media?
I started with Instagram. I love Instagram so much because on like Twitter, you can just see pictures.
Exactly, that's it.
And then Instagram does Instagram ads, which you can take it to like millions of people.
Okay.
And as well as, it starts as low as 200 naira. Okay. So that's what I did a lot. And it got us a lot of followers.
So there has to be a budget for promotion.
Oh yes, definitely.
Okay.
And I always tell people, promotion, PR is very important. It's as important as buying a machine. Because you can make products and people would never see them. Okay. But the more you push and the more people would see, definitely orders will come.
Which is why you had to send it back to Peter.
Well.
Of the business right now, because you said you started with 100,000 naira and you started 3 years ago. So where are you now and where are you going to?
I mean, when I started, it was in church, and now we're shipping to 16 countries. We have, like, I go to the mall and people say, oh my God, that's that COZ guy. So yeah, I mean, it's
you own a store, right?
Yes, I do. And then it's going really well, and I never imagined. You know, you can always dream big, but then you just never really imagined that a bag would make people recognize you outside. But yeah, and then we intend of stocking in stores outside the country. We're working on a deal right now. And brand ambassadors, we're taking one on very soon. Okay. Will be announced. So yeah, we're pushing and going.
So stocking in stores, you said that's going to be outside the country. What about here in Nigeria?
He has a store.
I have a store. We're also working on stocking in a store in Abuja.
No, I meant aside from your own personal stores. No, you don't want to do
so
anything.
I love to see my customers one-on-one. I love to always interact with my customers.
I'm not saying that, because in as much as you can have your own stores, I would have thought it would have been business-wise for you to also stock in other stores that sell fashion accessories.
True, but I mean nowadays the social media, it just makes things very easy.
Okay.
So you can even come
cost
to the
effective
store.
Exactly.
As well.
Okay.
So do you have a factory now where you produce?
Oh yes, I do.
All right, and now you have inverter and solar and all those things.
we have inverters, but we have a big gen.
Okay.
So it's fine. And we're always on gen. We don't even rely on Empire anymore.
You need to crawl before you walk.
Wow. Exactly. Yeah. That's what I was trying to tell you.
Yeah. You've made his day now. He's not going to let me rest. So apart from Kano, are there any other places where you get leather?
Oh, no, it's just Kano.
Okay.
Just Kano, because we could import, but that would be like more expensive. So just from Kano.
Okay. All right. Anyone?
So this is strictly a made in Nigeria product.
Yes.
Everything. You get everything here. Okay. So in using celebrity influencers, because you just only said you gave to Peter, are you saying that is the only person you have deliberately sent your product to get your product out there? And if there are others, who would you say gave your brand the most impact? Forgetting about the number of followers they have, who gave your brand the most impact that you could gauge it and say, okay, this worked?
RMD and Swanky Jerry.
Okay.
Swanky Jerry is like the king of styling in Nigeria. So when people see like a fashion king, and he's always carrying his COZ bag, so people are like, oh, okay, what's this? And then sometimes it doesn't even tag us. It just mentions COZ.
Wow.
Okay.
like he's already calling the name, like it's
a brand,
exactly. So people just associate, oh, okay, COZ. And then RMD is very respectable in the industry.
Yeah.
So when RMD posted the bag, he didn't just say, oh, I got a COZ bag. He said, this is the only Nigerian brand bag that I trust.
Okay.
And that our following just went up. A lot of people just started calling.
Okay. All right. Final question before we wrap up. Anyone? Okay. All right. So that's precisely where we're going to wrap up this morning. We're back this afternoon with a brand new episode of the program. But don't forget that we have 3 tickets to give away for the comedy show titled Chimaraf. The event will be kicking off in Surulere this weekend, as mentioned earlier, on the 3rd of March. To win a regular ticket, all you have to do is tell us which day and what time that video boy was a guest on our show. Answer through our social media pages using the hashtag #TeaTime, or you can tweet at us at +TV Africa with all of your answers. We also have another ticket for seating at a table. All you have to do is tell us the first 2 topics that were discussed on the 25th of February during the morning show. Once again, answer through all of our social media pages using the hashtag #TeaTime, or you can tweet at us at +TV Africa with all of your answers. Before we say goodbye, thank yous as always go first and foremost to my co-anchors Ife, Elsie, then the entire production team, our stylists, Kudi's Empire and Elsie's Slay, and of course our studio guest, entrepreneur and CEO, yes, of COZ Designs, Ore Osoba. Thank you very much for coming. I'm Tokumbo Taiwo saying thanks for watching, and from all of us here, have yourself a wonderful morning.